Ma'am, we are live.
We are live on Swaayambhu, right?
Yes, we are live.
Good afternoon and namaskar, everyone. Welcome to Getting Candid, and we are going to meet a young entrepreneur today. Entrepreneurship is all about ideas, opportunities, visions, and various elements which we never really thought about. When we are the first generation, entrepreneur with no experience coming from home or, experience which we have learned or influenced, we are actually on hot coals every time there is a challenge. So being a first generation entrepreneur is a dicey issue. But we have Azharuddin Khadri here who will share with us whether his journey has been creamy, sweet, or it has been slightly tangy. Let us have a look at his slice of life. Welcome, Azhar. Welcome.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, Azhar is a chef and director at Daisy Dozen by AK. He has done his hotel management from R.N. Shetty College, Hubli. He has got an experience of working at Uday Villas, Udaipur, Oberoi at Bangalore, Griffith Lab, Rich Enterprises, and he's an entrepreneur since 2015. So, like I mentioned earlier, when you are a young, dynamic boy, everything seems to be very easy. And then you go crazy with your ideas. And that is the first step to be an entrepreneur. But it may not be a cool step to take if you're not prepared, because entrepreneurship is a mindset. So let us understand and go over to Azhar and understand how did he rise to the occasion when it came to entrepreneurship. And since Swaayambhu is all about transforming the backbenchers to front runners, let us begin our question with, were you a backbencher or a front runner in school, Azhar?
I was always a front bencher, not because of very good at studies, it's because of my height. I was very, very short, extremely short. Maybe I would stand somewhere in second or third line during my national anthem and everything. I used to sit in first row most of my classes from first standard to 10th standard. However, I was very good at sport. Cricket was my favorite sport, but I was very bad at school academics.
Okay.
And
So
I
you
would
took
fail
up your, yeah,
almost. Sorry.
that's okay. So you have got lovely cats at home. Great, great. So they want to be a part of this show too.
Yeah,
So
two of them.
so when you decided to be a chef,
Yeah.
so was that a very planned move or it just so happened? How did it go about?
It wasn't a plant, I would say. It's because when everybody was doing their PUC, 12th standard, and everybody wanted to become either doctor or engineer. And for me, it was something different. I knew for the fact that if I do engineering, I would take more than 4 years instead of, I would take more than 5 years instead of 4 years. I thought I should do something else which would give me a secure job. That's when my cousins, friends, and a couple of my seniors suggested, Azhar, you are good looking, and there's something known as hotel management. You do that hotel management, and I'm sure you'll get a job in a five-star hotel where you would be serving to clients wearing a suit. That was very encouraging, and that was very actually, I thought, very glamorous indeed. That's when I thought of doing hotel management
Hmm.
in 2003.
Okay, okay. So when you did hotel management, did you learn, you learned so many aspects of hotel management. So how did
That's
you
correct.
decide to be a chef? So was that your goal right from your first year?
It wasn't. Like I said, I always wanted to welcome the guests and make them seat and make them comfortable, wanted to serve something nice to them. When I joined hotel management, I realized there are four departments. One is food and beverage production, you become a chef. Food and beverage service, you serve the guests and then you become food and beverage manager. Third is housekeeping, you take care of room, cleanliness, washroom and everything. And the fourth one is front office, wherein do reservation for the customers and clients who walks in.
Right, right.
we had to study each and every aspect of hotel management, and then in final year we have to decide which one we want to pursue. And in my first year, I completed my first year, and we had to go for a industrial training in Bangalore for 45 days. And that's when I approached industrial training program in various hotels. And when I got into a hotel for 45 days training, I was asked to work in a housekeeping department for 15 days and 30 days in food and beverage production, which is kitchen, which I hated the most.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
So in that period for 45 days, that's when I thought I should become a chef. I should change my career to become a chef instead of going into F&B service. So there's a long story behind it. So how do I put it? If you want me to put it in 1 minute, I would say I learned my hard lessons in a harder way. I learned being a chef is a good position to be, because chefs are the most respected individuals in the hotel industry. And
So
you can
what were
also,
the life lessons you learned during this phase?
so first things first. First life lesson is when I got a knock on my head from my senior chef is that you should never taste a food with your finger. You should never lick that. So always take a spoon and do it. So that's my first hygienic lesson. The second one was it's you have to work really hard to become a chef. You wear whites every day. You have to work so carefully that your white should not become dirty. That's a huge challenge. And they would ask me to peel onions that would be 50 kilos a day, and they would ask me to clean tiles. It doesn't mean that you enter kitchen start cooking something. So you start from scratch. You start from washing vessels and cleaning vessels, cleaning tiles, and then you grow gradually. You learn some basic ingredients. What are the names of different lettuce and onions that comes to hotel? That's how you become a chef. So it was not very easy. It was little challenging initially, I would say.
So when you did your internship, you realized that chef is what interests you. So that is what made you alive. So you must have done your typical work after your college. You must have
After
worked
my college,
already.
after fourth year, you're talking about?
Yes.
When I completed my fourth year, during my campus interview, I got through Oberoi group of hotels. So
Okay.
there are several rounds which happened in Bangalore. So it was in Karnataka. So they invited students across different states from Goa, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka. So there were 5 states. The number of hotel management in that period, I think it was in 2007, there would be at least more than 50 to 60 different colleges. And one
Okay.
of them was mine. I mean, RN City College. We come from a small college, and there were at least 100 or 120 students who were appearing for kitchen, who wanted to become an aspiring chefs.
Oh.
And several rounds. First round was introduction. You have to introduce yourself. You get only 15, 20 seconds to introduce yourself in front of the crowd. And then there was second round, and there was third round. So I got through 3 rounds, and then there was fourth round. If I had cleared that, I would have gone for the 5th round, which I didn't initially. During my 4th round, they gave me an offer of OSER. So
Okay.
it was an opportunity that I would work in any of the Oberoi hotels across India. So they gave me 3 options to choose from. So I chose 3 different hotels. One was Jaipur, Rajvilas. Second was Uday Vilas, and third was Mumbai. And they asked me to represent Oberoi Uday Vilas. So I had joined Oberoi Uday Vilas in the year 2007. So I was very proud of myself that I cleared Oberoi interviews, because from my college, there were just 2 of us. Harsha Bhagavat, who is my best friend even today, who worked for Riches. And there were just 2 of us who cleared those rounds in the last 4 or 5 years. Even my seniors, some of my seniors couldn't clear those exams. And we were very proud is because we, coming from a small town and saying that we can accomplish so much, we believed in our work, and we actually started progressing on our communication. So communication was very important. So that is what got us through Oberoi campus interview.
So when you were at a lovely campus, which everybody yearns for, how did you think of setting up your own? What attracted you to entrepreneurship? Why?
when I joined hotel management, some of my hostel mates, they were from different backgrounds. Some were doing engineering or MBA. They would make fun of me, you know. So, Azhar, क्या बनेगा? 4 साल तो complete कर लेगा, and then what? You would open a cart, idli, dosa counter. They actually would make fun of me during those days. I say, not exactly that. What I would do is I'll get through any of the five-star hotels, but I will definitely open something of my own when I turn 30 or at least before 30. That I had this in my mind. So my name should be there somewhere or my brand should be there. I was not sure of what during those periods. It could be hotel, restaurant, cafes or what. So I continued to work. And then before turning 30, I did open something of my own, which I would say one of my to-do list or one of my dreams I had achieved before turning 30. And entrepreneurship, yes, definitely was very challenging.
Yes, but then when you think about entrepreneurship and you don't have anybody in your family who is a business person, then you have so many friends and family who will demotivate you, probably, discourage you from the idea of doing your own thing. So how did you handle that? And you stuck to your guns that, no, I'm going to start my own. How did you manage that? Because not everybody is able to do it.
Yeah, more than demotivating me or discouraging me, I would say they were worried about me. They wanted my well-being. They thought entrepreneurship very difficult. It's not everybody's cup of tea, firstly. And many of them think that you put money, not everybody would be successful. So you have to spend at least 5 lakhs or 10 lakh rupees. Instead of that, you can do something, secure a job, continue to do that. Instead, spend something of buying a home or buying a car or buying an asset would be more appropriate things according to them. So when they say something like this, Azhar, continue to do what you're doing right now. You're doing better in your job profile. This kind of, I would say, I would not say discouragement. I would say difference of opinion they had in my dreams. So I believed in my dream.
So when you started your first outlet, where was it?
It was in the year 2015. I started my first cafe, The Baker's Dozen. Now it is Daisy Dozen. We will come back to that story later. The Baker's Dozen by AK in Kalyani Nagar. It was a small setup with 4 to 6 tables, and I had a 5 feet cake counter. We would make desserts and cakes there. So 2015 was the year I started.
Okay, and how was your experience? What did you learn when you started your first outlet?
Practically many life lessons. Working for 8 to 10 years, the kind of lesson that I had learned in my first year of entrepreneurship, I had learned in multiple folds, I would say. Life was really, really very challenging. It was definitely not easy. You come up with so many hiccups that you have to overcome. It could be money, it could be products, it could be selling point, it could be paying your rent, it could be taking care of your staff who would not work with you any longer. So there are many challenges which are associated with entrepreneurship, especially in bakery industry. There are many competitors. And when there are competitors, you have to work on the quality. And this quality is going to take you and differentiate you from the competitors. So I had this dream that my products are very different. No matter what happens, what are the challenges that I had faced, I would still continue to work upon on my products that I believed in. So all these challenges are definitely there even today, but it doesn't mean that entrepreneurship is so difficult that you can't achieve. So after working for 5.5 years as an entrepreneur, is definitely something that I can coach somebody, I can consult somebody. If I've done some mistakes in my past, I can speak about it and I make sure that I can be a good trainer, can become a good consultant or a mentor to somebody.
Right. Smart. So what do you think is the USP of Daisy Dozen? If you had to talk about
Daisy Dozens, the products?
Yeah.
My USP would be red velvet cake. If you Google the best red velvet cake served in Pune, would be red velvet, which is Daisy Dozen. So at least there are 50 to 60% of people who take the name of Daisy Dozen. So you must try red velvet from our bakery, Daisy Dozen. And apart from that, what we do is a little different from the regular cake. So around regular cakes, you see the white cream finishing on top.
Right.
And on top of that, I use a glaze. So another layer, which is like we melt the cream, we have chocolate in it, we melt it together and we set it overnight. And next day, after 8-10 hours, next day, we melt it in a microwave, then pour on the cake. So that is known as glazing technique, which most competitors don't do. That's a specialty. And it gives a good feeling. So if you actually go on my Instagram page, you see the cakes that will talk about it. I mean, pictures speak louder than words.
Smart. Nice. So you have got your own, loyal patrons and customers who are a big fan of your red velvet cake. In business, generally, jo dikta hai, wahi bikta hai, right? And you must have definitely had so many competitors around you. So what is your thought on, marketing or creating a brand? What did you learn and what do you think?
One thing which comes to my mind right now when you ask this question, marketing and advertising, building a brand. People say that, and most of the successful entrepreneurs say that you should have a story to sell. If you don't have a story to sell about your brand, so my brand is all about me. So if you look at the name, Daisy doesn't buy AK. So my name is Azharuddin Khadri. That's me, AK. So I am the one who's standing behind. I'm the face of my brand, and I'm a chef by profession. So whatever I do, so it is coming from the chefs to the hygienic part, the trend that is happening around the world, the innovation. So I'm the one who's doing it. Apart from that, I would not be commenting on the competitors, what they're doing. But my patrons who have been taking products from me for the last 5 years, they have been sticking with me even during difficult times. During COVID situation, many of them used to come up and ask me, Azhar, your bakery is open now. And when I had opened during the unlockdown or something like that, so I had sent a message to most of my clients. So saying that we have really opened, we are taking very minimum products. So if there is any order, just let us know. So they actually wanted to buy a cake just to give me business, not to eat the cake. They were so loyal to me. And I'm really, really glad that they did that. I'm really humbled and appreciate those gestures. And those gestures kept me moving.
Very sweet. And God bless all the loyalists who have encouraged Azhar to continue doing what he is doing best.
Thank you.
Now, you are a chef and you started a, baking business, right? Cakes and pastries. So what do you think, what are the important aspects of baking business? If somebody wants to start their own, then what are the tips you would like to share?
I would say it's an art. So cooking is something that you follow the recipes, but baking, the recipes are known as a formula. So if they say, if it is 100 grams, and if they say it is just 0.5 grams, you have to use it accordingly. So baking is all about science. So if you don't measure the formula, it doesn't turn out well.
Correct.
So whereas a biryani recipe, they say use 3 spoons of this, 3 spoons of ginger garlic paste, a handful of garam masala. The biryani will turn out well, but it will not spoil. However, in baking industry, you have to make sure that you follow the formula when you baking in the oven. So the soda or sodium bicarbonate, it doesn't work well. It doesn't rise. Sometimes it falls. Sometimes it becomes crumbly. So make sure you have the formula, stick to it, have a weighing scale and follow it throughout. And you will not be successful in first attempt. It will take you at least 3, 4, and sometimes even more. If you are consistent, if you are very patient enough, you will learn baking.
Right. So you were talking about baking that you will not be successful in the first attempt, maybe, and it is all about precision. And in case of biryani, you can just go haywire and probably experiment. But did your first outlet be successful, or did you? How did it go about? Was it a success? You would call it? How many outlets do you have as on today?
As of today, we have 4 outlets. But like I said, in my first attempt, when you bake a cake, it will definitely doesn't turn out well. But it doesn't mean you give up baking, is it? If you're making something for the first time, if it spoils, you try harder next time. The same thing
True.
happened with my first outlet as well. So there are a couple of challenges. I have to make a little tweak in my business. I have to make sure if there's money not coming here, I have to do something else. So I kept on trying. So from first outlet, one outlet to multiple outlets now. Currently, we have 4 outlets. So definitely there will be challenges. I kept on following the recipe, which is the passion is a main ingredient here. So the passion should not die.
Passion should not die. And I think you were not scared or fearful of starting over, because sometimes when we start over, you may actually like the new, thing that turned out to be. Okay, new thing. I was thinking about innovation. Like in every business, you have to innovate. And in a business like cakes and pastries, people like new things. They like to see different colors and different names on the menu. So how do you take care of innovations? Are you a trendsetter or you follow the trends?
Following trend is definitely a good thing according to me, because for example, there are 2 cakes in my menu which I did not launch myself.
Okay.
It's because of people who used to come back to me and say, Azhar, do you have rasmalai cake?
Okay.
So
okay.
my team members would say, Azhar, rasmalai cake hai kya? So my team would say, chef, everybody and most of them would come to us and ask rasmalai cake. We should try. So because of their persistence, I introduced 1 cake, rasmalai cake, and rasmalai is also selling well. It's not that I had to do something on my own. I did not innovate it. Definitely, it is somebody's like a fusion dessert. So Indian fusion mixing with the European cakes.
Right.
So we call it as rasmalai cake. So Indians, we love Indian sweets, and rasmalai cake definitely so moist and tender inside. So we use rasmalai syrup and rasmalai inside the layers, and that's how it is started. So follow the trends, but it doesn't stick with you. I mean, it is there for a moment. It is there for some time. So you can't be sticking to the trend throughout. Okay.
Right.
So whatever is basic, so basic must be there. That's your foundation. What you're known for. If people are asking you something, it's a courtesy that you are giving an extra service to them. It's like a customization. So it is in trend, which means that people are asking for it. Why not? There is a demand. Whenever there's demand, you have to supply to them.
Absolutely.
That is my take on it.
Absolutely. So how important is a customer feedback to you, and how do you ensure you take it? How regular you are, or how frequently do you take their feedback?
Take care of customer feedback, you mean?
Yes.
Most of them would actually go on different platform and give a review like Zomato or Swiggy. Most of them would do that. However, on Google as well sometimes. But there are a couple of my close clients, I would say, who I have known for a very long time. More than my clients, they've become like a friends now. They just call up and say, I need a cake within an hour or so. I make sure to do that. So the reviews come to me, and whenever there is something they did not like, they actually call up and say, this is what I did not like, Azhar. There's something wrong. So you have to take care of your kitchen.
Okay.
And this is a kind of a learning for me. I have to go back. If there is some mistake and fault, so when you fault, it doesn't mean you have to come back. They are only there to help you. They want your well-being. So I have been very consistent giving good products. They trust me so much that it could be a mistake. To err is human. So it's all a human error. There are very few clients who actually go up and start writing a negative review.
Okay.
So I used to ask, and I had given a speech in on a various platform. And when I said, why do you write when you are angry on social media? If you don't like something, you actually challenge that person or threaten that person, saying that I would write about it on social media.
True.
But if you have taken 10 different cakes from me and you liked, or for all the 10 occasions, have you ever given a minute to write one review? No. 11th cake, it was a human error. Something must have happened, a goof up or something. Just because of that, you go on a social media and write a negative review about it. So I'm not talking about just review. It's
Hmm.
all for the viewers right now. So when
Hmm.
you're angry, don't write something
Right.
because you're in negative emotion that time. So think
Hmm.
about it, take a pause, take 6 seconds before you say something. And when you know that you have gone through whatever situation, check, is there a fault from your side? Analyze each and every situation. When you are in your right senses, write or tell something, be it good or bad.
Hmm. You seem to be very sensitive and very soft. So you did not have any business management degree or qualification. You just learned it, hands on, right? So on hindsight,
Yeah.
do you think it would have helped if you had done some business management course, because you appear to be very sensitive and emotional? So do you think that would have helped you to be more
Yeah.
aggressive and what is your experience?
I don't know what business management courses would teach
Hmm.
students, but
Hmm.
I think more than in the industry, you
Hmm.
learn a lot. I mean,
Hmm.
not just in studying. So
Hmm.
textbooks, this knowledge, theoretical knowledge is all fine. But
Hmm.
what you learn on the street, you become street smart. That's how you learn gradually. But
Right.
yes, I would say if you learn something, if I had a coach or mentor, not just a
Hmm.
business
Hmm.
mentor or somebody,
Hmm.
if I had a learning of business management, I would have been a more even successful businessman. I think more than emotionally, I would have worked on my challenges even better. I would think so.
Okay.
That
So
is
you
very
think
important.
qualification is important?
Yeah, yeah, it is
Should
important.
it, okay, but a person, if he doesn't have any qualification, should he just give up that I don't have qualification and not do it?
No, I did not say it is
Hmm.
mandatory. You need it compulsory.
Hmm.
I would say if you have money, if you can invest something, if you want, you have a bigger vision. Are you
Hmm.
sure that you can do this kind of a course and
Hmm.
going to have the same field? It is
Hmm.
definitely better. But it doesn't mean that without this you will not achieve anything.
Correct. Correct. So if
You
a
start
person, if
something.
a, yeah, so if a candidate doesn't have academic qualifications, what would be your advice on how to go about? What are the other things, other elements in which you will need to add, a little more?
Let us take an example of
Hmm.
creating a YouTube content on YouTube. Okay,
Hmm.
it could be anything. If you don't know something, what we do first thing is we Google or we check on YouTube.
Right.
So more than 40% or 50% of the content is available on YouTube.
True.
So whenever you have a doubt or question, ask a particular question on YouTube. You have many answers,
Right.
and those people can be a guiding force to you and guiding light to you.
Hmm.
For example, if you don't have investment, you have this much of investment. What would you do?
Hmm.
What kind of business is better?
Hmm.
So everything is available online. So make
Right.
use of online content is very important,
Okay. So you say
and
that.
start
Yeah.
working on your
Work.
dream.
Mm-hmm. So, is there some different method of working when you don't have academic qualification? Do you learn from trial and errors? How do you go about? Because I think money is very dear to everybody. So you can't afford to make mistakes, right? So without a degree in place, without a mentor in place, do you think the YouTube aspect is going to help them to sail through?
If you want to learn certain skills, you should
Hmm.
start building it. You should start
Yes,
learning that particular skill. For example,
right.
if you want to become a good public speaker and become a coach, so you learn from better people. For example, go online and check, or if is there somebody who can help you. For example, if you want to learn a public speaking, go and join public speaking platform
True,
nearby
true,
or learn online.
true.
Or if you want to become a good, I would say, you want to sell something online.
Right.
What is it like? So go and approach somebody who's doing it already. Ask their help if they're willing to help. If
Hmm.
you want to start baking, ask
Hmm.
them if there is any vacancy.
Hmm.
Go and join them like a industrial train. Somebody is allowing you with little pay or something. If they're not paying anything, also it's fine because you're building a skill from them.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
6 months is very important. I'm just talking about very common examples.
Right,
online
right,
content or
right, right, right,
being a baker. I'm sure there are multiple opportunities that you want to focus on. So select whatever is your goal, and
right.
out of that goal, make sure that you have a right path to it and approach right people. I'm sure there are many people who are helping. Currently, ma'am, you're doing an excellent job that you want the backbenchers to be a front runners.
Right.
This is the kind of platform. Why everybody is watching this channel? It's because there is something unique and there's something add on. You're adding value to people. So people are coming to watch something from entrepreneurs. I'm sure if you want to achieve something, go and learn from them,
Right,
meet them.
right,
So if
right.
you are among 5 like-minded people, you will be 6 like-minded people. That's what they say.
Perfect, perfect. You have got 4 outlets in a very short time. So I'm sure you must be having a set of people you trust them, right? A set of people who are your best people. And I think you may also have partners in place. So what is your advice on getting the kind of people to work with, and any pointers on how to select a partner, a business partner?
A business partner indeed. My partner's name is Mr. Mahendra Salunke, who is from Baramati.
Okay.
We met through a common friend. That was our first.
Uh, we can't hear you, Azhar. Hello, Azhar. Hello, Azhar. Shilpa, could you please send a message?
I had a good project. And
Azhar, could you please repeat? We missed you in between.
can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, now we can hear you. There is some lag.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes, Azhar, we can hear
Hi,
you.
can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
I think there is some lag either from my side or Azhar's side. Just give us a minute while we rejoin. Just a minute. Yes. So the aspect of being an entrepreneur is not so easy. There are many elements and many layers. So when you have one outlet, you might experiment and take a shot at various things, right from getting a place, freezing a location, getting the right person to be there when you are not around, and getting your vendors, your resources. You have to get your margin in place, and that happens when you get your best ingredients at the best price. So many learnings when you are an entrepreneur, especially when you're doing it for the first time. So when Azhar started, I'm sure he must have had a lot of challenges. But how you face them, how you overcome them, how you learn, is very important. So like it is said, mistakes and problems, they continue coming to you till you have learned your life lesson, right? So I think it's a very important element to be emotionally very strong and to have an analysis of why things are happening right and why things are going haywire regularly. So once you analyze the situation, you are able to work on it better and have a premonition that yes, this is what I can do to get this particular success point. So whether it is baking or whether it is business, I think we need to follow some elements of success formula to get things right every time. So we'll just ask Azhar to rejoin. Meanwhile, I'll just say hello to everybody else. Hello, Mr. Rajiv Dubey. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Anilji. Thank you so much. Hello, Geeta. Thank you for joining. Yes, we will just wait for Azhar to join in. Shilpa, please, could you just notify me whether I'm audible? Yes, Priya. Is there some issue from my side? Yes, Azhar is back.
Ma'am, I'm sorry about it.
That's okay. So we were talking about team and partners. So what has been your experience?
Choosing a partner, that was your question,
Yes.
I believe,
Yes.
before we got disconnected.
Yes.
Uh, there's no particular quality that you look in for a partner, I would say, initially, because you don't know what kind of person he is or she is. You meet them for the first time. If something connects, if you kind of get a good vibe while speaking to them, that is what you look for. And mainly, what kind of investment that you need from that particular person or partner.
Right. Right.
That is what uh, I think one major characteristic that you look in for a partner. Otherwise, if you bond very well initially for first 2 or 3 meetings, and then while speaking, I'm sure we judge people. So you get a vibe. We say we should not judge a person by its cover. Yeah. So after a couple of meetings and we know what kind of person he or she is, you go by the gut feeling. Even while going and choosing an entrepreneurship, you don't know what kind of life is ahead in front of you.
Correct.
You
True.
learn from each one of the challenges. So that is how you choose a partner, I would say.
So when you are selecting a partner, I think from your answer, you are more a person who follows his gut instinct. But
Yeah.
when you select people who will work for you, so what are the qualities you look for?
First thing, when we hire, we know that person should be skilled enough.
Right.
And second thing would be speaking. If somebody is at the counter who is selling something,
Right.
definitely public speaking helps. Not just English, it should be like interpersonal. If somebody says hi and hello to you, you should be kind enough how graciously you answer to them, how politely you say hi, hello. Even that
Right.
matters a lot.
Right.
If somebody is asking a question, you should never answer them in a single word. If
Right.
somebody asks you how are you, you say good. You never say good. If you can say one or two lines, that means that person has an inbuilt quality, has a good interpersonal skill. So interpersonal skill is very important, and the skill that I'm hiring for. If somebody who should be baking a cake or making a cake, I ask for an experience. If it doesn't have anything, they start from scratch,
Right. Right.
wherein they clean vessels and mop, washing tiles and everything. That's how they do. And most of these staffs who come from lower level come
Right.
from different references. So if somebody
Uh,
is working with me for 6 months or 1 year,
hmm.
I would ask these guys to call somebody they've known for many years or long time.
Correct. Correct.
That's how they build relationship, and I make sure that they stick with each other and they stay with me for a longer period of time.
Right. Right. So now you have 4 outlets, and you must have had a vision when you started. So what was your vision before pandemic, and what is your vision now?
Before pandemic, yes, we thought that we're doing well. After 5 years, we completed 5 years in 2020 June. During March, lockdown was announced, and everybody were in a tight situation. So we didn't
Right.
know what we have in the future, what future holds us. So we were not sure what was happening, was going to happen. Everybody was prepared, and everybody was talking about survival. So survival for me, it could be different for you. Survival is a very
Right.
subjective word.
Right. Right.
So vision was before lockdown that we'll have at least 20 outlets by the end of 2020. We'll have multiple franchise. So now we did not grow beyond 4. Yeah. So now I would say survival is all about all 4 outlets
Hmm.
are running. We
Hmm.
were able to pay rents, we were able to pay salaries, but it is delayed by 1 or 2 months. So
Right.
this
Right.
kind of survival that we are in right now.
Right. So you're doing
Unfortunately,
good.
yeah,
Hmm.
fortunately, I would say none of the outlets had to shut down,
Fair
but
enough. Good enough.
my heart goes with most of the entrepreneurs who did not do well. So I'm sure they will actually fall back again. They'll do well for themselves. They'll come back strong. I wish them all the best. Don't give up so soon.
Very sweet, Azhar.
Thank you.
So if there are some aspiring youth who want to probably be a chef, or they want to start their own baking business, so what are the tips you would like to share
Yeah.
with them? Yes.
There are multiple bakers these
Hmm.
days.
Hmm.
Everybody, I mean, most of them would like to become a baker or a chef. Couple of years ago, during our time, chef was the word which was never heard of
Hmm.
until Sanjeev Kapoor came on TV. So he became a
Hmm.
celebrity chef, and everybody thought chef is also a kind of profession. But today, the situation scenario is completely different. Everybody is online, and most of them are self-taught baker, and they're doing
Right.
very well for themselves.
Hmm.
You don't need a good degree to become a good chef.
Hmm. Hmm.
Unless you want to work in a five-star hotel, it is mandatory. Yes,
Right.
it will give you a foundation, strong foundation. But if you don't have any degree, it doesn't mean that you can't become a good chef. It doesn't mean that you can't become a good baker. You learn online, you start something of your own, start from home, start small, and then think of becoming big. Have a vision, and then make sure that whatever you're doing, your customers are happy, you're earning something, and follow what's happening around the world. Instagram is very important these days, so learn or teach yourself digital marketing as well.
Ah, digital marketing as well. Hmm.
Yeah,
So you think digital marketing is important, right? So we have a question from
it is,
Mr.
it is.
Yes, we have a question from Mr. Anil Garg for you. Right from Hotel Oberoi setup, shifting to a small own outlet to nurturing your dream is a commendable move. So a compliment to you. Many people find
Thank
the
you.
change difficult to sustain as there is a huge change in routine, work, interaction, people, etc. So would you like to give some tips to Swayambhus about how to handle this change?
Handle this change.
Yes, from being employed to
Yeah.
being an employer.
um, it is actually an entrepreneurship step, I would say, not just a hotel to different setup.
Hmm.
So we would say the first step setup or first step
Hmm.
is always the biggest, is the most challenging part. The
True.
moment you think you want to become an entrepreneur is the first step, and when you try to become one is a huge step, and that step cannot be taught, cannot be explained how to do it. You have to go with your experience. It's all about what you want to do, how big is your dream. If your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough, they say.
Right. Right.
Are your dreams big enough? So
Hmm.
when I took this entrepreneurship, I didn't know what was in store for me.
True. True.
It could be different for you, it could be different for others. If I ask my teammates who are still working with different organization, they say, Azhar, what you have done is commendable. Only 1 or 2% would actually think of leaving something, a secure
Right.
job, and do
Right.
something, and I can never do it.
True.
So I don't know. I don't have an exact answer for your question, sir. I would say what and how big is your dream, and I'm sure you have an answer associated with the question itself. I'm sure you'll do well, or whatever the question associated for whom I'm not sure. I hope I've answered your question, and I'm sorry if I
I
didn't.
I think Azhar is very passionate about his work, and passion answers all his questions. Right? If he has got 4 outlets in a very short time, I think this is all to his perseverance and hard work and being very truthful. Because what comes across when we listen to him is that he's very passionate and very true. Like he was mentioning about his customers. There was one question which I wanted to ask earlier, Azhar. Like you said, there were many
Yeah.
people who were just buying from you during the pandemic just so that your business keeps going. So I would like to know, what is the opinion of your repeat customer generally? What do they say about you?
Maybe they like the product,
Hmm.
and more than the product, they like come and meeting me because I give them a kind of service. They just like to interact with me because the kind of attention they deserve, I give them, I think.
Right.
So if you know your customers by name, for example, if you're in a crowd, if somebody, you feel good about yourself. So these customers have been very genuine to me, good patrons, give me good business. Maybe once in a year, that's okay, but they come back to me. It is a belief that I'm doing good. Despite there are multiple bakers or multiple companies that are coming in mushrooming all around, if they're giving business once in a year, they come back to me year and year, which means you're doing good for yourself. Trust this process.
So I think that's very truthful. Azhar, I repeat that you come across as a very passionate and very sincere person. So all the best and God bless to you. And I think there will always be somebody who will not see your worth. What is important is that you are not that somebody, right? So all the best to you. God bless you. And may young ones and youth always get into being a job creator instead of being job seekers. Okay. So if there is anything we can help you with, I think Azhar is more than happy to guide you and mentor you. So please keep on mailing us to swayambhu@gmail.com. That reminds me, Yogesh Kulkarni, who was the winner last time, I request you to please send in your address so that we can send you the Hang Your ice cream hamper. Thank you, Hangyo, for being our best supporter right from day one. Azhar, thank you for being with us today. You've really shared, your.
Thank you so much once again, ma'am, for inviting me.
Most welcome, most welcome. So thank you. And everyone, thank you for joining us. Do connect with us tomorrow for the interview as a Swaayambhu Senior. We have Mr. Shripad Kulkarni joining us, who has his own radio channel, which he started after his retirement. And of course, our host is going to be Shri Anil Garg. So see you tomorrow digitally again at 4. So God bless. And as always, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind. Thank you so much.